Greetings. This is Ham Radio GMRS Test and Review. My name is Dave. My call sign is N8DAV, and the motto for my channel is one test is worth 1,000 expert opinions. Today, I'm doing a test and review of this Baofeng dual band HT Walkie Talkie antenna. And it looks pretty much like an Abbree antenna that's not marked as an Abbree. So anyway, why don't you kick back and relax, and I'll be right back, and we'll start in with the review. Be right back. All right. The package that this antenna comes in is really not much of anything, just a clear plastic sack. All right. Anyway, so let's start off. This was sold on Amazon as a Baofeng dual band whip antenna. It is specified as being dual band. It's 14.875 inches long, which is, if you didn't know, is 7/8 inches long. All right. It is a rubberized whip with an SMA female connector specified at 50 ohms. Also, it doesn't specify what the maximum wattage is. But it does state that it has a gain of up to 2.15 dB. And that's really pretty much about it, except it did not come with a grommet. And it is $6.99 on the Amazon website. About 50%, maybe a little bit more, maybe 70% less than what the Abbree antenna sells for. And by the way, it looks, the base is the same, exactly just like an Abbree, and the antenna length is just right there, just like an Abbree. So, I'm thinking it might just be an Abbree, since they put Abbree antennas in the packages with their Baofeng radios. I know I've got a ton of them, and they're all the AR771 type, so which are usually pretty good antennas. So. Let's see how this one performs at $6.99. It could be the bargain of the century. All right. I'll be right back. We'll get started with the testing. And if you like the videos that I produce, please consider subscribing to my channel and liking my videos. I would really appreciate that, and I appreciate your consideration. And if you want to see more, please click on the bell icon so you'll get notification every time I do a release. And I would really, really, really appreciate that. Once again, this is Dave for Ham Radio GMRS Test and Review, saying 73 and so on. All right, here we go. We are testing the Baofeng / Abbree dual band antenna that I found on Amazon for $6.99. Let's see how it does on the 2-meter band. And we get an SWR of 2.58. All right, once again, we're testing the Baofeng / Abbree dual band HT Walkie Talkie antenna on the 70 centimeter band. And we get an SWR of 1.04. All right, next up, we are testing the Baofeng / Abbree dual band HT Walkie Talkie antenna on GMRS channel 16. And we get 1.01 to 1. And some of you have been asking me to test these antennas also on MERS. So I'm testing this on MERS channel 3. This is the Baofeng / Abbree dual band HT Walkie Talkie antenna. And we get an SWR of 5.35. All right, just like I always do. So we have another good comparison point. I'm going to test the Baofeng dual band HT Walkie Talkie antenna, which is an Abbree clone, on the NanoVNA. And so we have something to compare it to with the power SWR meter reading. So here I go. I'm going to turn this on. When I turn it on, it will default to the 2-meter band, and we shall see what the SWR is on there. And we get the SWR of 3.484. All right, next up, I'm going to test on the 70 centimeter band. And I've got to run this over to 446, which is where I tested it on the power SWR meter. And we get an SWR of 1.246. Next up, I'm going to test on GMRS band, as I always do. And you guys love it when I test on the GMRS band. And we go to 462,575. And we get 1.753. And last but not least, I'm going to test this Baofeng / Abbree dual band walkie-talkie antenna on the MERS band. And we go to 151, 940. I'm sorry, 900. And that is an SWR of 3.507. All right, up next is our field strength test. Now, the field strength test can give you an idea of how well this antenna might perform out in the field. And I like to run the field strength test, so I run them exactly the same way every single time. I run this test at a prescribed distance using the same radio every single time with a fully charged battery. So what I will do is, after I get the field strength readings off of the meter, is at the end of the video, I will go over all the results with you of all the SWR testing and the field strength tests. So this is the test of the Baofeng / Abbree dual band HT walkie-talkie antenna on the 2-meter calling frequency. We go now with the field strength test of the Baofeng / Abbree dual band HT walkie-talkie antenna on the 70 centimeter band. Next up, for all you GMRS fans out there, I'm testing the Baofeng / Abbree dual band HT walkie-talkie antenna on the GMRS channel 16. And since a lot of you have been asking, I will test this Baofeng / Abbree HT walkie-talkie dual band antenna on MERS channel 3. Okay, and you'll find all the results of all the field strength testing and SWR testing at the end of the video. And next time you see me, I'll be out in the field and we'll be doing our distance modulation test. All right, I'm back out here at Fox Glen Park in Flagstaff, Arizona. And today I'm testing for distance and modulation this Baofeng / Abbree dual band HT walkie-talkie antenna. It basically is an AR771 clone, is basically what I'm saying it is. So let's see if it performs similarly. And so what I've done is I've set up my base station with a parrot repeater, simplex parrot repeater, on the UHF band. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to send a message to the parrot repeater, and then I'm going to listen very carefully as to how it comes back. Now, I rate this modulation test, distance modulation test, either excellent, good, fair, or poor. Excellent means that there's very little to no static coming back with the message. Good would be a little bit to some static coming back with it, and fair would be a lot of static, but the modulation is still very clear and very strong. And poor or failing would be there's so much static you can't really understand what is being said, or I wasn't able to hold open the repeater, or I was able to hold open the repeater but still wasn't clear. So that's where I'm going to do that. And then also too, I'm going to look at the S meter that's a part of this radio and determine to see if it what the actual reading is, and then I will record that reading as well as all the other antennas that we've looked at and tested, and we can compare. All right, and that's what all this is all about. So let's try doing our test and see what happens. N8DAV testing 1, 2, 3, 4. N8DAV testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow, that was very good. That was very little static, and the S meter was strong at 7.5, and it flipped up just a little tiny bit, not quite to 7 3/4, but I'm going to call it a 7.5, and it's just really great. That's an excellent result for this test and for this antenna. So when I come back, I will give you my opinion, which honestly is meaningless, and I'll give you all the results from the field strength testing and the SWR testing so we can compare everything. All right, I'll be right back. All right, I'm back at the shack. Yes, so what did we learn today from testing this Baofeng uh, dual band antenna that was sold on Amazon for $6.99? Well, I think, first of all, that it's exactly like the Abbree AR771 antenna. That that antenna is it's exactly the same. And it actually performed very similarly. So I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised it did as well as it did, and it did very well. So let's take a look at what it did in a nutshell. First of all, the SWR on the 2 meter band was 2.58 on the power SWR meter, and then it was 3.484 on the NanoVNA. It's pretty apparent that they had tuned this antenna for the 70 centimeter band because on the 70 centimeter band, 1.04 for the power SWR meter, and it was then 1.246 on the NanoVNA, which is very, very good. Very, very good. I would expect good results, or at least decent results, with good SWRs like that. Now, on the MERS channel is where we get a little bit difference here. On MERS, on GMRS, on GMRS, we got 1.01 on the power SWR meter and 1.753 on the NanoVNA. Now, I would expect the NanoVNA to be a little more accurate than the power SWR meter, and it obviously shows, especially since the antenna, let's face it, was not specified nor designed to operate up at that higher part of the 70 centimeter band. So, I'm sorry, of the UHF band. I gotta be specific here. Sorry, UHF band. In the 70 centimeter band, it is designed for that. Outside of the 70 centimeter band, it's not designed for GMRS. It's not stated that it is, but we test anyway, just so we get an idea of how it might perform, and I stress might, and also so we can compare how well the SWR was on other antennas that I've tested in the exact same way with the exact same equipment. And then on the MERS channels, it didn't do so well. It was 5.535 on the NanoVNA and 3.507 on the power SWR meter. So I wouldn't expect this to work very well on the MERS channels. Now, again, one test is worth 1,000 expert opinions. I could probably go out to testing this on MERS, and it could do really well. It could do very poorly. I don't know. I'm not going to be testing distance and modulation for every single band that we have available, especially one that the antenna is not specified to work on. So that's what we have come up with. So I would expect it not to do so well on 2 meter and on the MERS, but do very well on the UHF 70 centimeter channels, which it did, and on GMRS, which it probably will. Okay, so what did we get as far as field strength is concerned? 2 meter, we got minus 4.1 dB. That's a poor showing, but it's not a failure in any way. 70 centimeters, same thing, minus 4.1, poor results. But then on GMRS, we got a plus 1.2, which is excellent. And on MERS, we got minus 3.6, which again is a poor result. However, we tested on the UHF channels, 70 centimeter, and it did really well on the distance and modulation test. So it did excellent, actually. So, and we got a S meter reading of 7.5, which is very, very good. That's about as high as I think I've gotten it. And it started to peak a little past the 7.5 point. I can't call it a 7 3/4. I told you I'm going to rate this in 1/4 increments. But it did get past the 7.5 mark, going up and down between that and 7.5. So, yeah, take that as you want it. This is all information up for you guys to determine which antenna and what results you think are best for you. All right. So this is Dave with Ham Radio GMRS Test and Review saying 73 and so long.